19th of February 2022, greetings from Rwanda's capital Kigali. Here is what makes our top stories tonight. President Paul Kagame is in Germany to attend the Munich Security Conference. The Rwanda private sector explains that the establishment of the Economic Recovery Fund has made it easier for banks to avoid losses. And the Minister of Education has expressed confidence that Rwanda's goal of 60% of students who complete the ordinary level in the country's secondary schools, schools continuing to their studies in technical and vocational education or TVET schools by 2024 will be achieved. A very good evening to you and welcome to Rwanda Television News. My name is Sam Kalisa. To begin for tonight's edition, let us inform you that President Paul Kagame is in Germany to attend the Munich Security Conference. On Saturday, the Rwanda head of state held various meetings that included the Alexander Soros, who is the deputy chairman of the Open Society Foundation that operates in 120 countries around the world, followed by Qatar's Minister of Foreign Affairs. He also met and held discussions with Jindai Fraser and the leader of the Ecolog International, a logistics company working in several African countries. And to move on, the Rwanda private sector explains that the establishment of the Economic Recovery Fund has made it easier for banks to avoid losses. This comes as economic analysts point out that the increase in the profitability of banks gives confidence to the growth and development of their clients. We know more. The National Bank of Rwanda's annual report for the financial year 2021 indicates that the commercial banking sector is in a stable position since private sector lending compared to the national GDP increased by 28.7% compared to the rise of 26.4% that happened in 2020. Banking profits also increased from 33 billion Rwandan francs in 2020 to 56 billion Rwandan francs in 2021. The 100 billion Rwandan francs Economic Recovery Fund that was set up by the government of Rwanda to support the private sector continued to boost investment in the year 2021, as some of the private sector practitioners confirm.
It
was very amazing that we were not left alone during the COVID-19 pandemic, because even if you encounter losses, it doesn't burden you that much, so it helped us very much. The Economic Recovery Fund couldn't fully fund us, but at least it helped us to cope up with the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. Overall, banks restructured an amount of 1,011 billion Rwandan francs, or 37% of the total loans, while 766.6 billion Rwandan francs, representing 28.5% of total loans, was restructured due to the COVID-19 pandemic. 561.3 billion Rwandan francs, representing 20.6% of COVID-19 related restructured loans, resumed. Also, 215.3 billion Rwandan francs, or 7.9% of COVID-19 related restructured loans, are under moratorium. The CEO of Equity Bank, Namara Hannington, noted that commercial banks have continued to be tolerant to their customers to keep the relationship moving forward, despite the fact that the COVID-19 pandemic affected everyone.
Obviously, the last 2 years have been very difficult for the financial sector because in the absence of economic activity or business being done, then certainly the loans don't get repaid. We had a large number of customers in the sectors that were affected that had to be given accommodations in form of either moratoriums, those that had to benefit from Economic Recovery Fund, had breakages in interest rates, and some had even to decide to sell whatever they had to liquidate all their loans completely. A large chunk of our customers, and I presume that's what it is with other banks, were given accommodations.
Gradual reduction in COVID-19 cases facilitated the reopening of various activities, hence boosting investment and trade. Economic analysts find that the rise in profits made by banks is something that can rise the number of their customers in the near future.
When
a bank makes profits, it is a proof that its clients are able to do profitable businesses, hence increasing the amount of loans it offers to its clients. Sometimes people need loans but aren't able to get them. So the more the bank makes profits, the more it increases lending. The continued recovery of the banking sector is expected to help the country's economy, which had fallen to 3.4% below zero, continue to recover. Last year, Rwanda's economy increased by 10.1%, which gives hope that the economy will continue to grow even this year. Officials at the Rwanda Development Board, RDB, have noted that the hot air balloons now operational at the Akagera National Park will help to further boost tourism in the country.
This latest method of touring the park is expected to attract more tourists, giving visitors a chance to see the park from the air in addition to the other regular modes of travel that enable people to get around.
It's a plus for Akagera. It's really a plus. It will bring another type of tourism, and I'm quite sure it will increase tourism. And you know, tourism is something we are really try to develop and to push, because when the income of tourists, all the income of tourists for Akagera, all the money is reused in conservation and community. So do you understand that for us it's very important to increase that income, and that project will help us to increase the income.
The two hot air balloons are now fully operational and capable of carrying 10 people combined, and are operated by Royal Balloon Rwanda, a company that was born thanks to the conducive investment opportunities the country has to offer.
The hot air balloon capacities differs, but what we have here at the moment, we have got two hot air balloons with the capacity of 4 people and 6 people. So overall we have got 10 people. Every day we fly only in the sunrise time, and we can have maximum number of 10 people. Here we designed together with Akagera Management Company a compact operation with the minimum impact to the environment and of also the ecosystem. So we in many parts of the world they operate with the big balloons, which you can get up to 20 people or to even 25 people.
Officials at the Rwanda Development Board have noted that the hot air balloons will help to further boost tourism that was severely affected by the consequences of the COVID-19 pandemic.
Is a great addition, is an exciting product that you find in other countries. So it's a great addition to also Rwanda's tourism offering, to continue to exceed visitors' expectations. This also goes hand in hand in accelerating our recovery from the tourism, from the COVID-19 pandemic impact on the tourism sector. And we are very grateful to the investors, Royal Balloon Rwanda, that have trusted Rwanda, that have worked with us to make this a reality.
With more tourism revenue comes opportunities for development, especially for local communities living around the park.
It's a great milestone to have hot air balloon in our district, especially in Akagera National Park. The reason being, one, since the national park itself, since 2005, more than 2 billions, 0.4, have been generated as revenue sharing to our community in Kayonza district. And this money has been invested in school construction, health facilities, but also in cooperative development. For instance, in 2019 only, 228 million have been generated. And when we get this kind of funding as a revenue sharing contribution from the national park, it helps the local authorities to diversify into community development projects. Not only community development projects in school construction, health facilities, among others, but also in revenue generation from the cooperatives around. For instance, more than 185 million Rwandan francs is generated on annual basis for these cooperatives.
A ride in the hot air balloons costs $400 per person for tourists coming from abroad, $350 for foreigners living here in Rwanda and $250 for Rwandan nationals.
Thank you, Serge Nore, for the report. And as we move ahead, the Minister of Education has expressed confidence that Rwanda's goal of 60% of students who complete their ordinary level in the country's secondary schools continuing their studies in technical and vocational education, or TVET schools, by 2024 will be achieved. The minister made the comments on Saturday while visiting the Rwanda TVET school in Karongi district. Serge Nore continues.
While at the school, the Minister of Education officially inaugurated a new boarding section, a modern kitchen and dining hall, as well as a new brick-making facility, all financed by the Swiss Embassy here in Rwanda. The school's principal has noted on the significance of the new infrastructure. What has become clear is that the number of students has been steadily increasing, and it is thanks to such infrastructure and facilities being unveiled. It was certainly a problem that all our students were day scholars and not getting enough time for revision work at home. The students also recognize the opportunities they have been given. It would have cost me at least 20,000 Rwandan francs per month to get any sort of lodging nearby, and I would have ended up struggling to be able to pay the school fees. The Swiss ambassador in Rwanda has commended the emphasis the country puts on the importance of technical and vocational education, pointing out that they helped his own country to develop rapidly.
You know that my country, Switzerland, is considered to be a rich country, and I think that a lot of the wealth that we have accumulated over time is due exactly to this system of vocational training. 60% of the Swiss population go through vocational training. They do not go through universities or another training, it's vocational training. And to see that this now comes to Rwanda and also linked with the goals, the objectives of the Rwandan government to become a knowledge-based economy by 2024, I think that is a great moment. So I'm very proud to be here.
Rwanda's Minister of Education, Dr. Valentine Uwamariya, has expressed confidence that Rwanda's goal of 60% of students who complete their ordinary level in the country's secondary schools continuing their studies in technical and vocational education, or TVET schools, by 2024 will be achieved, saying the provision of such infrastructure is enabling much greater numbers of enrollment into the system. The facilities at the Rwanda TVET school cost more than 350 million Rwandan francs to complete, which will enable the school to take in much more than the 130 students it currently has.
Welcome back. As we proceed with the sports matters, Christian Prudhomme, the director of the Tour de France, told RBA he is impressed with Rwandan roads and the hilly terrain, which will prove very crucial for the World Tour cyclists during the 2025 World Cycling Championship that is scheduled to happen here in Rwanda.
I watched that on TV the previous years. I want to see with my eyes of the passion for the people from Rwanda for cycling. Okay. I saw the climbs, I saw the hills. I want to see passion, and this will once again to organize something great. For the very first time, the first World Cycling Championships in Africa. That's huge. And you have to know, that's really huge. I am the director of the Tour de France, the most important race in the world. I say to you that it's huge to organize the Cycling World Championships in Rwanda in 2025. You have to, everybody has to talk, has to speak about Tour de Rwanda, of course. The riders, Pierre Roland, who is one of the most famous riders here in Tour de Rwanda, who won a stage last year, who won stages in the Tour de France, who won in l'Alpe d'Huez, the most famous stage in the Tour de France, and just said to me, you will see, it's wonderful here. So that's very important to hear from this kind of guys, this kind of riders. So I hope tomorrow with other riders, they will say exactly the same when they will come to Rwanda.
Meanwhile, Rwanda Cycling Federation President Murinzi Abdallah says all is set for the 14th edition of Tour du Rwanda cycling race, which will start tomorrow Sunday here in Kigali.
Hosting a a personality of that level is an honor for our event, because you know Tour de France is a very big event worldwide. So sharing with him experience on how they organize their race, how can we work better, how can we be organized better to reach that level will be really a good time to discuss about it. He's very impressed. He's very impressed about the welcome he received since yesterday, and he's very impressed with the beauty of Rwanda, and of course how we are now organized, the organization. We are waiting him to follow the race, and then maybe can share with us what is missing, what can we do to make it better. Until now, he's really very impressed, well impressed, and the impression is now good. In the future, we hope to work together with his organization, keep sharing with the French, with Tour de France, about their success, about their stories, and toward the success of in the improvement of Tour de Rwanda, and of course toward the success of World Championship in 2025.
Murenzi Abdallah also said the fact that the race attracted people from all walks of life, including world-renowned figures such as Christian Prudhomme, the director of the Tour de France, is very important as Rwanda prepares to host the World Cycling Championship in 2025. And of course, this story sums up tonight's edition. But before we get out of the studio, here we give a quick recap of absolutely what made our top stories tonight. To begin off, what made our top stories tonight, let us inform you that President Paul Kagame is in Germany, where he is set to attend the Munich Security Conference. Also, traders and economic analysts have expressed a concern that the establishment of the Economic Recovery Fund has made it easier for banks to avoid losses. The Minister of Education has expressed confidence that Rwanda's goal of 60% of students who complete their ordinary level in the country's secondary schools continuing their studies in technical and vocational education or TVET schools by 2024 will be achieved. On behalf of the entire news production team that made it happen, thank you very much for being with us. My name is Sam Kalisa. Continue enjoying your weekend. Stay safe and goodbye.